The summer sun sparkled across the crystal blue waters of the Aegean Sea as the royal family's yacht glided past the serene coastline of a small Greek island. It was meant to be a rare, quiet getaway, just the royals, a few close aides, and the sound of the sea. Away from the flashing cameras and the constant swirl of royal duties, the family hoped to enjoy a stretch of peace before the hectic months ahead. Prince William and Princess Catherine, smiling and relaxed, chatted on the deck as the breeze ruffled their hair, while Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and little Prince Louis enjoyed the adventure of being far from home. For George, this trip was exciting in its own right. At 11 years old, he was beginning to appreciate the beauty of different cultures and countries, the flavors of new foods, and the thrill of exploring hidden coves. But as much as he enjoyed Greek cuisine, the fresh seafood, the warm pita bread, the creamy tzatziki, there was something missing. Something he couldn't stop thinking about. Something golden, crispy, and perfectly salty. It happened one late afternoon, as the yacht anchored near a quiet bay. The family had just returned from a small island tour, where locals had treated them to olives, feta, and honey-drizzled pastries. The setting sun cast a golden light over the deck. But George wasn't smiling. His face had a thoughtful look, almost a quiet yearning. Princess Catherine noticed immediately. She leaned down, brushing his hair back. "What's on your mind, George?" He hesitated, as if wondering whether he should say it. Then, with a sheepish grin, he whispered, "I really want McDonald's." The words caught his parents off guard. William laughed, thinking George was joking, but the boy's expression told another story. This wasn't just a random thought, it was a craving. Maybe it was the days of new, unfamiliar foods. Maybe it was the nostalgia of something familiar from home. Or maybe it was just the memory of the smell of hot fries drifting through the air on a London afternoon. Whatever it was, George couldn't shake it. At first, the request seemed impossible. They were anchored far from the mainland, and the nearest McDonald's was many miles away. But in that moment, William and Catherine exchanged a look parents give when they know this isn't just about food. It was about giving their son a moment of comfort, a little slice of normal childhood in the midst of royal formality. Even future kings have simple wishes. The yacht's captain was discreetly informed. Within minutes, whispers passed among the crew. A small speedboat was prepared. One of the aides volunteered to make the journey, but Catherine had a playful twinkle in her eye. "Why don't we all go?" she suggested. "It'll be our little family mission." And so, just as the stars began to appear in the evening sky, the royal family slipped off the yacht into a sleek, tender boat. The air was cool, and the island lights twinkled in the distance. George sat between his parents, excitement growing with every splash of the waves against the hull. It wasn't about grandeur or royal protocol now. It was about chasing a simple, shared joy. When they finally reached the mainland, a few locals recognized them immediately. But instead of chaos, there was warmth. Word spread quickly through the small town. The royal family had come ashore, for McDonald's. People smiled, waved, and whispered in amazement as the future King of England walked toward the restaurant like any ordinary boy. Inside, George's eyes lit up at the familiar menu board. No gold-plated plates, no gourmet touches, just burgers, fries, and nuggets. He ordered his favorites, and Charlotte and Louis quickly followed suit. Even William couldn't resist grabbing something for himself. Catherine, laughing, admitted she hadn't eaten McDonald's in years, and decided to join in. The staff, stunned but composed, worked quickly to prepare the order. One young employee whispered to her colleague that she'd never forget the moment she handed a Happy Meal to a prince. George, in turn, thanked everyone politely, his manners perfectly intact despite his excitement. It was a surreal sight, royalty and everyday life blending seamlessly in the warm glow of a fast food counter. They didn't linger long. Bags in hand, the family headed back toward the harbor. But the joy in George's eyes was unmistakable. On the boat ride back, they opened the paper bags, letting the scent of fries fill the air. Laughter echoed over the water as they passed boxes and drinks around, sharing bites and stories. Back on the yacht, the crew chuckled quietly as they watched the royals enjoy their late-night feast on the deck. The moon cast a silver path across the sea, the only witnesses to this unexpected chapter of the trip. George sat back, a satisfied smile spreading across his face. In that moment, it didn't matter that he was the future King of England. He was just a boy, savoring a warm burger under the stars. The story of that night would eventually slip out, first through whispers among locals, then in a few photographs taken discreetly from afar. It would spread across social media, making people smile around the world. Here was a glimpse of the royal family that was both rare and relatable. A reminder that even among all the formality and tradition, there is space for spontaneity, for small acts of love, for the kind of moments that make family life special. For George, it wasn't just about getting McDonald's. It was about being heard. About his parents recognizing that sometimes the smallest wishes are worth chasing. And for William and Catherine, it was a reminder that amidst the duties and expectations, their most important role was simply being mom and dad. The yacht would continue its journey across the Greek islands, stopping at sun-drenched harbors and hidden beaches. But in the quiet of their hearts, that night would remain one of the highlights, a night when the royal family's grand adventure paused for a happy meal, and in doing so, created a memory that would last far longer than any official engagement. And somewhere, in a small McDonald's on a Greek island, the staff still talk about the evening when royalty came calling. They remember the smiles, the laughter, and the sight of a young prince clutching his fries as if they were treasure. It was proof that joy doesn't always come from the extraordinary. Sometimes, it's found in the golden arches on a warm summer night, shared with the people you love most.